this put them into the lower bracket in a do or die scenario? As Nightmare will be on the offense first. Keep an eye on what alternate angles Malenia is going to take on this Hela, but so far following along with the Ducklings, with Babadook going forward. The tank's putting a lot of pressure on Dakani, forcing to levitate out. And the teleport. Okay, we're just thinking about something special, trying to see all the outcomes where they could win this fight. And with Len already being forced into banner form, that's not a great start. A weaker defense, and now an eliminated one with Malenia striking through the heart of that banner. But it is equalized. These Hellas are menaces.
Now, we said it would be Hela. And did Connie just pull out the portal to stay in the air a little longer and confuse it? I don't know, but manually getting a huge pick there on Baser, but not before Nightmare can completely just absolutely take over this point with Kendrick getting the two-piece. Kendrick now trying to get more going, and they're just trying to make anything happen. Rad trying to get to the point, stall it a little longer. This was a fast cap, Lemon.
What is Kendrick even doing back here, by the way? All right, it's a doppelganger. The clock in. But Kendrick is like behind them shooting strategists. I've no doubt Radler had to back away to deal with that. And this Bucky drops on top of them once again. The domain regen is out. Kraken impacts. And the invisible boundary. Pizza Demon gives an important edge to Nightmare on this offense. And the Vanguards are benefiting and slaughtering down the Rad Esports defenders. But it's not over yet. Not when there's a Galactic Legend from Chime. The Meteor M looks for a target, and it's blocked by the Doctor Strange. An insane play from the other side. The defense starts to stabilize. Nightmare have lost some members and don't have the hard reset yet, but without Luca, I think you may have to.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, good counter there. Azor trying to make a name for himself. Mace able to flex around a bunch of rolls. Great player. Can he step up to the plate there as that Magneto? And a good pick, but then also with that ultimate tough break there as we have Luca with the Eye of Agamotto that can set up any team fight here, Lemon. And Connie's going to be able to do the same. This is going to be an Eye of Agamotto fight, right? Strange has seen a million possibilities. Which one's going to pull out here?
Gotta look for that block. Luca, I should say, as the shield managed appropriately, and that's why all the damage from manually and the focus, the Eye of Agamotto from Connie gets 0. That is terrible for the defense, and Abs gets back up to full, but now the ball is in Luca's court, and can he go for a home run? It's already a first blood, make it second, and this Kraken impact is going ham, and manually's Goddess of Death doesn't have enough health, and even it got bursted down. The focus fire from Nightmare has been insane, and there is the finish. The resets galore. And this is Kendrick's house, not Barbie's house.
Oh my gosh. Kendrick says, hey, Drake, I mean, look at that deep hit there. I mean, it went from downtown, and I've got to say, yeah, they don't have the Loki there, but they don't need it because they've got the Bucky to be able to capitalize with the again and again, and they were able to just completely sweep the point here as they're getting pressure on them early, not letting them get comfortable, and no counter from Sunset Lim going to the thing, trying to get something going and have a counter to all the shields that they're seeing for the double shield comp.
Rad are a little bit split as they were trying to fight for that high ground, and then there's so many low-key doppelgangers that you have to worry about because it's so much extra damage, so much extra heals if you allow that to live. So there's some side quests in Marvel Rivals, and something that Kendrick does not want to deal with. And man, that was a close call for Chime, sort of a glass cannon in the sky as the Star-Lord. And first, you have the copy. Nothing really happening from the Nightmare side. It's just poking and prodding away as Connie keeps the shield up. And on the other side, Chime's Galactic Legend has to get into position, but it is the boundary. Luca with a 3-man Eye of Agamotto hits the backline. Connie, Len, and Abs fall. And Nightmare, the patience pays off.
Wow, absolute beautiful setup there from start to finish. And Malenia is just going off with the Hela, getting pick after pick. Beautiful patience in their ultimate play there, as you can see. And at this point, Rad wasted a lot on that fight and unable to really do much in response. They've got Chime to slow things down. No defensive though for Nightmare, so there should be a lot of picks unless they can all hide in one bit here. But you do have the Magneto following. Kendrick getting the elimination as well, and it's looking like Nightmare's gonna be able to finish this push.
Okay, last bit of push for point B. Kraken impact from Kendrick won't reset. The damage boost should help, and the bubbles too. He will not be stopped. The doppelgangers can only help you for so long. The invisible boundary, though, from Spenny gave an island for Rad to play off of, but there's no resources and no help coming as Nightmare pushed through the space and pushed through point B.
Man, Kendrick just putting the exclamation point on the end of these point caps. On the first one, now that absolute beautiful use of the Kraken impact there. And again, Azor doing a great job filling in for Mace here and putting in plenty of pressure and making that Magneto presence known with Luca and him. The double shields, tough to deal with. Lynn trying to do their best to stop it and get the pressure. But right now, momentum all for Nightmare.
Nightmare invested a lot. Eye of Agamotto being built up. That's why Luca's being aggressive and Pizza's building up towards the invisible boundary. But manually needs a fight to break down so that this Goddess of Death can loom above because all the focus could go into him. That is just the only thing that's popped. Charging on in though, Len. Usually seen on the Venom. Has to be the thing that is deadly to Nightmare, and their health pools begin to fall as Nightmare gets separated. They get divided and also conquered, but Kendrick's able to trade manually. Got too greedy for more eliminations. We have an even fight, but remember, Rad has closer respawns, so they have the edge if this fight breaks down any further. Good contest, but wait, the pull from the invisible woman has this Magneto in trouble, and this is where Kendrick gets to feast, and the rest of Nightmare will bulldoze.
Kendrick with the aim. My goodness, just elimination after elimination. There's an exclamation point yet again for the Kraken. In fact, right now we just have Chime trying to stay alive and do anything to get their team back together. Oh my God, the Zork just wants to one the disrespect solo hold that we saw as they're trying to make any type of a hold here, but Nightmare has had the full pedal to the metal to end it up here, Lemon.
Hey, the block. Luca has his shield in place. Meteoran has no effect. But wait, it's still got Malenia. But Baser resurrects them. That's the power of the Rocket Raccoon. Spawns close. The strategists in the back line of this defense are in trouble. But at this point, it's desperation for Rad to just take any second away from this time bank. And they dwindled it down to 43 seconds. Resurrects as the fight breaks down. There's a teleport. You know exactly where it is. Further back, leaving some space for Rad to plan things out. Now pressuring Luca back. Kendrick has to be careful. Will be dropping down as well shortly. And with these invisible womans and also a Bucky, you gotta be careful of these pulls and knocks Chime out cold. A huge isolation. Rad just looked so unprepared, unorganized on this teleport. There's some on the right side, some on the left, and I think Azure is about to be underground very soon, or should I say Rad's Vanguard lineup. Nightmare look pretty comfortable.
Lind, I mean, even getting that Magneto bubble there on the Kendrick pole, but Kendrick days, I mean, they're going crazy as we're seeing phenomenal play from the duelist today. Azor getting that pick on Lynn, last of to survive there, trying to get that push happening, and they're just cleaning up the rest of them. I mean, my goodness, the play there from Kendrick and getting those clutch hooks. Lynn even got the bubble, but it just was not enough in time.
Yeah, you really need to be playing behind your stranger. You're going to be succumbing to these pulls, and that wasn't even too much of a brawl from Brad to like build up to any ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at what is to come on this next fight, really, Abs can get some type of thing going with a Loki copy, but Malenia is just all about the poke and picks, the two taps. Can she get something up here? The Invisible Woman, nice shielding, nice protection, as they are obviously noticing her up top here. They're taking that back route that we saw earlier as well. And here we go. She's going to dive in, trying to get the double tap, but unable to secure it on the opponent's Hellas.
Malenia is just putting so much damage, and oh, the shield couldn't be put up, and someone needs to contest this high ground, and it's what, you're gonna have Connie levitate. He already used the teleport. That's a long cooldown, and you know it's red alert when there's a domain regen being used from the Loki. The invisible barriers invested too. Oh, the spaghetti's on the floor for Rad. This is not working.
I mean, Kendrick is the main issue here, as we can see. Just absolute perfect play. And not only that, I mean, they only use Kraken Impact. They've got a Goddess of Death, the Meteor M ready. And look at this, just hover. It looks like a Super Saiyan battle from Dragon Ball Z here. Luca up there now just putting spray paint on the battlefield. They're comfortable as they have all of their ultimates ready to go.
Is he saving this? It's like a sneeze. You're holding it in. Or yeah, no, Super Saiyan. I'm thinking of a sneeze. Again? Again? Kendrick is waiting for the moment to be called, or maybe he's stuck. I don't know. Eye of Agamotto, though, from Luca. Rad better watch their backs. And Shime also cannot be in vision of this Bucky or will be pulled once again. Rad rotate all the way behind and try to find these strategists. Nabs also can copy an ultimate, so I wonder what the choice will be.
Yeah, Connie, they're trying to get a little bit of leverage. It's going to be who can pull off their Eye of Agamotto here. They both have their shields up ready. Who's going to pull the trigger first as they're pushing up? Connie going up high. You're trying to get something potentially working, but no Eye. There's the Eye right there coming from team. Oh, my goodness. That was a
Connie got no one. Oh, that is not good. These ultimates are not it. They're not getting the impact that Rad was hoping for, and NTMR gets to stabilize off their invisible boundary and block any line of sight from an exterior Hela. Rad, though, are on the point. They've got the first take. It's NTMR that has to retake, and Chime, it's his time to chime into this fight. A 2 elimination. Kraken impacted. He's doing the Lord's work with the Eye of Agamotto, though, from Luca. Did disrupt Rad for a moment, but NTMR could not capitalize off such a beautiful ultimate. It is overtime, though. Rad should be able to cap unless there's a strange ultimate, but I don't, or a strange teleport. But I don't think that's going to happen. Rad, those signs of life.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, Chime just putting the team on the back there, making sure they get that cap. Unfortunately, Luca was the last to die, so they had no portal to go back and try to contest at that point. Able to just kind of fall because there's not much they could do past that. And the Agamotto coming out late to stall a little bit, but the team too far behind. Chime there, very well done. This just showcases Bucky and what he does in Marvel Rivals. Such a freaking threat of a hero.
Oh, that is gross manually, but Melina does get resurrected back up. The power of the Baser Rocket Raccoon and a damage boost available once he's ready to pop that ult. But Melina needs heals a bit quicker. There's another shot from manually, and that could be it. And look at this guy. Giga Chat in the backline, but takes an L to Melina. Oh, take a seat, brother. But Rad will not give up this fight. The Eye of Agamotto from Connie does catch a some. It was booped away by Pizza Demon, and it could have been even deadlier from Connie. He will be neutralized as NTMR have to take a step back, only having one Vanguard up. They'll have respawns, but they have time to wait.
The ult usage just all over the place. Much better eye from Connie. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize fully on that. Want to see NTMR come back together, get their ults back, and actually make a bit more use of it, as we saw from what we didn't see from the first point there. Now we have Chime trying to go around, gonna get rid of the res beacon and potentially sniping that rocket as well. We have Spinny trying to protect manually, trying to get the pick. Spinny, though, gets it instead and takes down the key member in Kendrick.
Meteor M from Major. Abs with the copy, needs help support the team, and this is a power position though from Melina and the invisible boundary from Pizza. This is some safe space for NTMR, but they're getting pushed out of their own invisible woman ultimate. This is insane, probably thanks to Abs, the goddess of death, and the galactic legend from Chime. I don't know, but Rad are surely able to capture these last few meters. But here's the Vanguard stepping up, the damage boost from Baser and NTMR, but they get hit by a rock, and that's gonna hurt in the morning. But who will get the last capture? It's 25 seconds, and Rad, this is their last chance. They can't afford the reset, and the last clap is to Spenny from the goddess of death with love. XOXO, we say goodbye to Rad unless they can race back in time with 10 seconds left.
I can't believe there was so much survival happening with the goddess of death up there. I mean, they didn't even have anything to respond to it. Here comes the portal, but Luca sniped him out, made sure to get no stranger part of this fight. They're trying to claw their way back in. The Loki Lancers are down. They have all of their abilities gone, and Kendrick is back and ready for vengeance after that. We have Chime swapping to Spider-Man to get to the point fast. Does get a pick there on Melania, which is huge, but the res does happen as well, and you can hear it in the background again, as NTMR finishes off this match with dominance and makes it a 1-0.
Luca is so big brain to already know that teleport was gonna come out. First for NTMR.
Now Luca gonna flex into that Venom role, was playing Doctor Strange, now gonna go a little bit more divey. Azor gonna look to bubble him to put a lot of pressure as Chime trying to make sure to slow down Luca right away, spots him from a distance, making sure that Venom the symbiote has zero place in this matchup as they are both on the high ground here. Chime, though, getting a little poke damage from the back. Beautiful for great poke damage and building up, trying to build up that ultimate for both himself and the strategist.
So far, so good. Good progression from Nightmare, and with Luca on the Venom. Good luck, strategist. We salute you. Good luck, because we just saw how much Shroud X suffered and how much the strategist will be under fire. And Nightmare are getting non-stop space because of this harassment. Oh, but a two-man pull at that from Manually, not fully capitalized on. And you see the fallback from Malenia on the Star-Lord, needing to keep themselves safe, but the wall off and the execute on Connie, the double kill and more. The dominoes are falling for Rad.
The MVP Vanguard play continues. Beautiful close in there. And that's why we're seeing Venom even outside of a dive comp, right? We're seeing Rocket with Venom a lot being able to heal from a distance. But that was a beautiful use of both Vanguards playing bully ball now as they push up. Still going to be another fight they're going to have to get. But Malenia does have that legend. Loki, though, immediately wowzer with the 4 going down. Nightmare getting a 4-piece easy cleanup. And they didn't even have to use much of anything.
Yeah, just the damage boosts from either side, and Nightmare just hasn't stopped yet. And the bubbles have been pretty well coordinated from Azure, that substitute that has to kind of put the pieces together. And Luca, who can keep diving in. This is a good recipe for Nightmare.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough for Rad, as if you're looking at the ultimates available, you know, pick your poison. Kraken Impact. Is it the meteor coming from above from Azor, or is it just going to be Malenia and the Legend making them uncomfortable? They almost want to stay inside that little rock dome. They don't want to peek their heads out because they have a lot heading towards them. They need to make sure Nightmare didn't coordinate their ultimates perfectly in the last match. I want to see them being able to alter and stagger these ultimates in the right way.
Kendrick just got pulled, but he's brought back in, and well, Nightmare needs to take a step back. They got the ultimates, and it's Rad that tried to hold it down. The Kraken Impact first from Kendrick, and the Strangling Prison from Len to keep Nightmare where they belong. And what a block from Connie against the Meteor M from Azure. It is the invisible boundaries, though, popping off, and I only see one pop off, and it's Malenia, the Galactic Legend, doing something legendary. Another block from the Meteor, and Connie gets nothing, and they're being pushed to the brink. Nightmare has so much space and pressure. Here's the Kraken Impact, the 2-for-1 from Manually. Oh, it's just automatic when you watch him. The turn, the burn, the 180. Oh, he's coming for the backline. Oh, okay, not letting the Asylum level plays happen yet.
My gosh, he was on another map when he started that ultimate. He came from around the wall and secured the double piece, as we just talked about that snowball happening. That was great usage of the ultimates from Nightmare, but Manually just making sure to put his chime hat on and do the same thing and make sure that he puts the team on his back for that defensive hold here. Now the Venom dives in immediately. Magneto bubbles going out. Both teams backing up here as we have Nightmare trying to put the aggression back on with only a couple ultimates. They're going to have to build some things up before they get a lot of aggression.
Yeah, good toss-up from Luca, and the Venom ultimate too to get everyone low health to set up Kendrick for the ace. And Rad, the convoy is almost at the end of point B. There's just no stopping this, and this time bank is getting out of hand. It's 4 minutes plus for Nightmare, and Rad need to have a pushback, or this is gonna get ugly.
Yeah, my Vanguard players out there, you guys are seeing a show today. From Crazeman last match to now Luca, just putting up a performance for the tanks. Phenomenal play all the way around as they're able to now build up the Galactic Legend. They've got the Kraken Impact. This is going to be rough. Now, strategist-wise, we do have the invisible boundary coming up for Spinny. But again, Abs, they're going to have the Resurrection Beacon, but no defensive ult. There's a lot about to come at them. Let's see how they hold down.
Malenia is not being too aggressive, trying to go for a flank, but tries to go unnoticed. This is a good CC hitting Rad, and the Kraken Impact activated. No reset! Shut down by Manually. And of course, the Resurrects from Ads keeps Rad on their toes and with 2 legs under them. So Nightmare may just have to face their first reset, but the respawns are so close. Pizza Demon placed the invisible boundary as Rad continues to back away. Galactic Legend ready! Malenia telling us a story. Given the hands too. So Rad are in trouble trying to find cover. The Vanguards have a lot of health to chew through. Kraken impact from the response. On the other side, land with the strangling prison to set up these ultimates for Manually to knock them all down. But it's only one elimination for Manually and that strangling prison. That's an investment. And I don't know if Rad are really profiting. And it's the fight back from Nightmare with the damage boost. We'll see if it's enough.
This is absolute chaos, and I love it. Goodness, that Invisible Woman falling the shield on Melina there as Star-Lord. Kindred finishing up the kill on Connie, but there's where the res beacon comes in handy. They're going to be able to put on a little bit more pressure, trying to stop them. They don't have much to go to cap the point. Can Kindred get that Kraken impact? He's trying to land a shot just to be able to fuel it up. 99%, it is active. Luca can now half the health, and they can finish it off. The 1-2 combo. There it is. No. Comes the boundary. Spinny able to pop that up, and Rad flips the script right there on Nightmare, which could have been a different result without the phenomenal ultimate play.
Manually just having a 180 performance too, flipping this whole game on its head, showing up on the Bucky, and even that Chime Punisher swap. I said I was looking forward to seeing it from Rad, and it was at the end. Break the glass, emergency Punisher team up with the infinite ammo. This can just melt down the Vanguards, but Luca may try to dive that, put more focus on that Punisher, especially once it sets up, as Rad patrol the high ground and will stay on the convoy.
They're going to have to push aggressive here because they don't have defensive ultimates to deal with all the aggression that they're about to be able to have. And they're doing just that. Nightmare just closing in. They've got the Galactic Legend to deal with. You have obviously the huge presence in Kindred. And there we go. Exactly what I thought we would see. All the aggression coming out at once, but not before Manually tries to get a little something going from their impact. Doesn't have an impact. And that looks like it's going to be the point.
Rad did get kind of rolled there. 1 minute cap. They did have some push the final fight for B without those. So Rad have to go all the way to the end, or they will face series point against Nightmare and on the brink of elimination. Rad fight for the power position. They come well studied with a thing. They can throw some haymakers down with Connie's bubble. They have quite a sturdy front line to go through. But Luca's focus won't be on the front. It will be on the back. So keep in mind how the defense sets them up.
Yeah, we do see the Triple C. We are seeing the Punisher. The infinite ammo will make a big difference with Lynn as well. We've seen them swap into thing before, but, you know, no Doctor Strange to counter this time. Just the Magneto. Building up ult fast, though. Nightmare is able to really get things going and rocking and rolling as they're pushing in. Chime trying to get something going with the infinite ammo. This is your time to get the damage out there, but kind of stuck inside. No, Chime does take out the big healthful Luca in Venom, and that was a massive pick here, but the res is going to make things slow down.
Yep. Lucas, but I don't think you want to be in a small room though. It's definitely harder to swing, and that extra health is already activated. Luca fades off into the distance, and Connie takes advantage of his absence to roll through the rest of Nightmare, and the convoy is on its way. Nightmare though aren't running a strange, so they won't be able to teleport back as easily, and Chime takes out the back line, and now there is no shot for Nightmare to have a good fight. They know it. They may just want to play for the choke, although Luca has a lot more health to play with, and Pizza Demon having the invisible boundary soon could be possible, and Melania slapped in the face. Chime and Manually working in tandem, and you got the random Meteor M that won't have the effect Azure was looking for. Rad though really starting to shake up Nightmare.
Yeah, Nightmare chose to keep that fight because they had the ultimate advantage massively, but did you see that infinite ammo land at the perfect time, allowing Chime to just pelt the pellets, the bullets into that Star-Lord, and Melania had zero effect there with the Punisher. You're not gonna live long. We've been wanting to see Triple Z in the tournament. Here we have it. It's arrived, and Rad with the perfect response into what was a tough defensive first matchup. Can they keep this thing going?
Now with Nightmare, their backs against the wall. There's still a lot of progression that the card has to do, and actually Luca's disrupting it, so Rad have to kind of pick their poison, and both don't taste so good. The high ground, though, was earned from Nightmare. Try and see if they can get a pull and even just put poke damage that Rad have to be careful for. The Guardian Shield has to come up to allow Chime to pop off, and the Kraken impact at the perfect moment. Both strategists ultimates out for Nightmare, but they can't group up around it. 2 or 3 kills for Chime, and he'll even step up. All up in your face. Chime is loud and he's proud, and Rad depended on him to show up, and so he did.
John iced the veins, one-man army. I mean, perfect finds for that Kraken. Yes, Bucky snowballs, but he made it happen massively there. Beautiful play from Chime to get this thing going even more, and that is gonna be a tough choke, very tough choke. Now they are gonna have to obviously get through yet another team fight here, and this time on defense, NTMR having no support ults in the name. The strategist ultimates are gone. Spinny's gonna have theirs available though, and here we go, Millennia taking down Chime, and that's gonna set up NTMR massively.
Yeah, Rad could only revive one of them, though. Only one of their favorite children could be part of the show. And Rad just got way too aggressive, went in solo, and lost their duels. And that's a risk that you can take, because obviously if you win that 1v1, NTMR don't have a chance to retake. But now Rad have lost so much wind in their sails.
Yeah, I mean, that went from just a complete momentum to stopping it on its heels. 2 minutes and 46 seconds left, and Millennia's got the legend. We've got, I mean, this is going to be tough as long as these ultimates get their value. Gotta watch out for the infinite aim, but here comes Millennia.
Oh, Spenny was huge with the invisible boundary. Blocked up that line of sight from Millennia after Luca had set up all the pins for the strike. And it just won't be enough. But no one has died yet for Rad. They get to keep moving forward. They get hit by the Venom ultimate as Rad were able to regenerate all of that health with a damage boost from Abs. It's not over yet. Here's the Azure retake! It's a double kill, and the res was already used. Stabilization for NTMR and a breath of relief as they send away Rad once again.
Yeah, with a 60% pick rate, Magneto obviously best counter to Punisher, and all those bullets charging up the meteor, and we saw it explode right into their face there. Again, great push there, and I'm shocked at the value. We don't typically see Punisher in this top level of play all the time. In fact, one of the least picked heroes here. So it's cool to see the attempt being made, but against Magneto, it can be rough.
Yeah, it's consistent damage, but less damage per shot. We'll see. Oh, Kendrick cracking him back just off the rip. Rips his opponent apart, and the res comes through. But I don't know if you want to be part of this. Put me back in my grave, says Rad. But they still have some fight, and it's the Punisher, and he's the executioner. Kendrick heads out, and NTMR are still holding the space because they blocked up the line of sight because of an invisible boundary from Pizza Demon. He has been critical at stalling things out, stifling the aggression from Rad. But you got the damage boost from Rad. You got Chime up next as the MVP. Kendrick knows he has to catch up. The couple of shots manually reacts. He gets into cover and healed back up. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, fantastic play there from Rad, making sure and being aware of where Kendrick is, trying to get that pick kill. Manually now getting the spot on Luca, but the res peak and brings it back. And here we go. We've got John coming in with what we've seen been a snowball after snowball. And Kendrick trying to make a big difference.
And Chime couldn't get the resets on the Kraken impact that off the rip. Just so much health out of NTMR, not even needing a strategist ultimate. Just stayed on their feet and kicked back at Rad, who have 25 seconds to get back into this. And Luca is already pushing out. And look, along with this Star-Lord, they want to stop Rad before they even touch.
Yeah, Luca created that nightmare that Venom does, right? I mean, just completely trying to bring the aggression early. There's no strange swap, so they're going to go right through with 8 seconds left. Look at Kendrick patiently waiting, patiently ready to get things going with the Kraken impact.
Couple of seconds! Kraken impact! Oh, just cracking foreheads, cracking Rad like an egg, and they get scrambled right back to spawn. NTMR, the true Canyon, the masterminds of the comp. They will go up in this series 2-0 unless there's some next level sneakers on Rad to run back there. No strange, no teleport, and no hope on this map. What Chime's already on an off angle, and he can be a glass cannon. Remember, he can easily be picked, and with a Widow being brought out just for that initial shot to see if he can snipe that one from the sky. Kendrick goes back to the tried and true, the Bucky, that neutral fight condition to pull someone either with the Invisible Woman or the Bucky. And you got the heals from the Loki. This is a lot to get through, but there's the dive in from Luca, and some walls come up from Len to deny some lines of sight from NTMR to follow up with that Venom dive. But this has been good progression, and even better pull from Pizza Demon and Kendrick to punish Len.
Wow. I mean, I just don't think they're ready for the dive here. They thought potentially that Groove was going to come into play, in a phenomenal pull from Pizza Demon, who's played like a demon, but on Invisible Woman, pulling in, getting that secured kill, not letting any strategists top them off and get the heals. And this first point, I mean, they're half asleep. They were able to get this point without any pressure or really any picks at all.
Man, it's really hard to focus when Pizza Demon's playing. And then Rad, though, they have their backs against the wall. Another fantastic pull. Connie has a healthy shield and is trying to be brought back to fall. And the Kraken impact, though, doesn't last a whole lot longer. Kendrick shut down, manually stays sturdy, and with the invisible boundary from Spenny, stabilization is found from the Rad side. As they press further, though, they kind of got too greedy again. Rad could have just played within the healing. Maybe they got pulled, but Nightmare still have more fight to them.
Yeah, Rad Spenny getting up that Invisible Woman boundary immediately, and Azor is going to capitalize on that and punish them not having something available there. We do have the Kraken impact trying to come out and do something there. Kendrick going down, trying to get back to the fight as Spider-Man, and Nightmare cleaning up, pushing them out. And you're right, a little bit too greedy there, supposedly, for Rad.
Yeah, and that's been their issue in the previous map of taking a huge gamble of these duels. And if they get staggers on Rad, that's gonna cook them even more. But Nightmare still have to progress, and they've built up towards Meteor M and a copied ult from Baser. But it's Chime that has to set himself apart. This Galactic Legend needs to be huge.
Yeah, Baser going to the Loki, trying to get some good use out of the ultimate here. Azor could get a massive pick to shut down early. Here comes the Azor ult to stop the Star-Lord. Can they get, oh my goodness, perfect throw, but they did get the block. Lanterns are down, and just like that, we do have the Invisible Woman ult going up with it.
Connie, our goat. What a block from that Meteor M, but the Meteor M denying. It's just a rock, paper, scissors match, but Nightmare one fight away from capping B. Respawn's close from the friends from the Rad as Luca's on the hunt. Kraken impact to respond. Manually stomps down Melina, but there's so much health from the side of Nightmare with the regen domains up from the Loki. It's tough to carve through with the invulnerability as Kendrick catches Rad, getting greedy, getting too aggressive. And now Rad head for the hills.
Yeah, Kendrick stopping that snowball from happening. Manually was about to go off as Kraken impact. He put a stop to it. He got the clone, and that was going to be dangerous. But Kendrick making that stop happen. And there we go. We've got the pump of the boundary from Pizza Demon, setting up Nightmare for success here. Can they capitalize on it? They get the hook. Kendrick has been a hook machine with the metal arm as we've got Connie throwing down the Meteor M, and nothing comes of it.
Pizza Demon, that slow from the invisible boundary was everything. The pulls as well. Rad will collect what they have, and now the punish is in Nightmare's corner. Not having Melina, this could be critical. It all depends on this Meteor M, and this is a tiny room with too many corpses in it. The response now from the Galactic Legend. Chime will fire through. Nightmare try to bubble away, but there's just not enough manpower from the Nightmare side to keep this rolling. But really, as the dust settles, Rad will have more than enough to keep the convoy stable.
Yeah, and again, they have the much shorter spawn. That was a house party in that little room. There was about 10 people in there at one point. They got the pick on the Invisible Woman, which I thought was going to really help them. You know, at that point, I thought Invisible Woman was going to stay indoors, right? Because Magneto ult, that's not something you want to see face to face. Connie now trying to get over this payload that is in their way, and they're taking the fight to him. Lynn has an ultimate to set up clobbering time, but there is the Kraken impact.
That bubble was insane. That saved Chime after he got pulled in. Kraken impact from the offense. Invisible boundary from Spenny to block that away. And this gave Chime an edge to hunt down Melina, who didn't get the same love. And charging in Haymakers, Len against the Magneto and the Guardian shield. The Guardians. Well, I was gonna save the Galaxy. There's not too many of them on Rad's side, but they really are ruling the Galaxy as Nightmare try to clap back. And so they do. Melina's on the field. You gotta worry if you're Rad. And they try to keep themselves safe as that's an invisible boundary from Spenny. Now that that's expired, Melina wants to push his luck. And how lucky or Rad feeling? They barely have any space to work with. It's all up to Len to hold down this real estate.
Now, Millennia just getting huge clutch picks here, really setting them up. Manually going in, trying to get this Kraken impact to get something going, and you've got the Invisible Woman to help as well. He's even keeping them alive. Now, we've got Luca, wrong place, trying to stay alive as well. Manually doing their best to hold the line here, but Millennia continuing to put on that pressure and has that Galactic Legend to go alongside the Kraken impact. This is going to be super tough as it delivers.
Rad are just trying to stabilize. They're not trying to be aggressive. They tempered it well, and Connie fights back, but Nightmare are in trouble. It's all up to Millennia to tilt the scales back in their favor. But wait, Chime's on the flank. He's after the Loki. So many doppelgangers. Good bubbles come out of Nightmare. But how much can Chime do? Oh, it's quite an impact. And Nightmare have nothing left in the tank. 14 seconds left. And they need to get back on the convoy.
Yeah, I mean, Chime getting that elimination on the Loki clone was massive. Getting the right one. They're going to be able to come in here. And we're going to have our last fight as Luca dives in early, Lemon.
Yeah, just to get the overtime wick started, a lot to burn through, and Luca can't get the extra health, the pull, the execute manually. He's the man. And then you got emergency Spider-Man. That's when you know Nightmare are in trouble. It's all up to this meteor. And the backflip to dodge. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a meteor. And it's Nightmare that have to come in clutch to go past the convoy, to go into the territory of this Haymaker and the ult from the thing. He's doing things, and Nightmare are left with nothing. Can't even cap point B.
The thing is doing things. I mean, we see role right now, and when you look at it, Rad, this is the get right map. They chose this. They knew this is what they excel at, and Nightmare now on the defense, having to have a very tough defensive job here, and we're going to be able to tell the story immediately on how this first point goes, Lemon.
Yeah, the thing is just one of the tankiest vanguards. It's hard to mess with them. He even has that damage reduction if he wants to give a big old hug to a friend. But Luca has to be careful of these dives. He can be pulled in two different ways from the Bucky and the Invisible Woman. And that extra health is popped. Bubble given over to that Star-Lord of Millennia, doing as much damage as possible. Chime is a little bit low and is going to receive some love from his strategist. Good progression so far. Building up towards ultimates. Nothing standing out to me except Chime with the perfect spin to win. Besting his opposition. And Luca can't escape. Could not find a good grapple and a web swing to escape. Nightmare hope to reset in time.
I mean, Chime, do it on Bucky. He'll do it on Star-Lord. We were just talking about Millennia and their usage of Star-Lord, and Chime says, hold on, hold my mixtape, as he just responds beautifully there. And we were just talking about how Nightmare had a great cap on the first point and that we would be able to tell the story. Here's the story. Rad, this is their map.
It really is. That was a blazing fast push from Rad. A lot more contest came out of Nightmare on their offense. We'll see if Rad has an advantage on the time. It all matters on the momentum they can build. And manually with the Kraken impact and the Galactic Legend, these are the keys to victory.
Yeah, manually here, trying to get a nice hook here, trying to get something going. Does miss it and pushes up slowly. We have ultimates galore. The fireworks about to come off. The Michael Bay special. Here it comes. Legendary popping up immediately from Nightmare. Able to get really nothing. That's Chime. I mean, Chime getting the picks there. Manually going in with Kraken impact. Here's the double duo. Can they get it in this first point limit?
The Invisible Woman boundary copy from Abs is what single-handedly stopped the Millennia Galactic Legend. What a play. And they still, guess what, have another Invisible Woman boundary. And this is the final fight. With 4 minutes, it will be popped. And the Strangling Prison is thrown from Luca. He gets pulled out of all the fun. Meteor M and everything in the tank as Nightmare stopped from pushing in and joining forces. And Kendrick gets the last laugh, like manually was called Drake all along. But Rad have an uphill battle. A few more meters to go. And Nightmare have respawn advantage.
Play here from Abs. Double eliminations. Yes, the Kendrick Bucky matchup was close, but the Kraken impact made the difference. But Connie getting the pick and the deliver on his Zor here. And yes, it's a much shorter walk, but able to get that pick was massive as they're able to now roll into it. Chime getting a piece as the Doctor Strange now getting right to the fight. And Pizza now pushing away, getting Manuel out of here. And this is going to get ugly.
This is getting ugly. Nightmare, they just have to live. just need to keep contesting. Now it's getting awfully close, though, to the cap, and this is for a chance for Rad to come back into the series. And Chime, he's in the back line, and this is terror in the eyes of NTMR. They'll try to respond with a Kendrick ultimate on the Wolverine of all things. It disrupts, but it does not stop Rad, and they are gone. They're also heading towards the enemy spawn. That's when you know things are hectic for Rad. There's still some people lurking around, including Chime that hopes to anchor, Connie that gets pulled in. They are dangerously low, and I don't know if Rad have the strategies to keep this going. But speaking of that, Spenny will heal everybody back up with the invisible boundary, and NTMR will try to challenge and do the same thing with their own ultimate. Manually waits in with his turn to go for the Kraken impact once those strategist ultimates are gone, and Chime could set it all up with an Eye of Agamotto, but this Luca Venobolt gets everyone from Rad low, but they stand tall, and the Kraken impact and the block. Azure gets nothing from the Eye of Agamotto.
Survival of the fittest. I mean, they had multiple combos they could pull off there. And Chime going in a little high, unable to land that, and that's a bummer because the combo usage could have been massive there. They're trying not to capitalize on it, but Luca punishes Chime for the unfortunate miss as they did switch to the triple Vanguard, able to get things rolling. We have the invisible Spinny getting up the ultimate as well, but Lynn gets the hit and the finish, not only on the Wolverine, but Luca as well.
So winnable. Wait, Azure did just get stunned, and I think Rad have done it. They have all the eliminations. They zoned off NTMR, but NTMR needs to stay hold, and thank God for Pizza Demon and this invisible boundary. Wait, I was trying to hype you up, and Chime's going crazy off the Strange and off to something magnificent on the Star-Lord to clutch up one final time, but it needs to be a team wipe. It needs to be an ace, and the Joker is out of the sleeve, and we have Kendrick making a comedy special now on the Wolverine, slams into Spenny, and this is a fight that never ends with NTMR. You think they're down for the count, but they come back to life.
The walk back is so quick. They're able to swap counter. He went to the Wolverine to stop the triple Vanguard, and then Chime went back over to Star-Lord, getting good value, but Kendrick doesn't need triple Vanguards to get his value. He was able to get a huge pick there, and now we've got less than a minute here. Rad's got just Kraken impact, and as for NTMR, they don't have anything outside of an Eye of Agamotto that's going to come in clutch. This is a make it. They've got to hit this. They have to hit this Agamotto here.
Make it or break it. There's been good blocks, and it's up to Connie. Time-based shield, not as flexible as the Strange, and it's Rad stepping up, and there's been so much effort from Rad, but NTMR, they keep coming back because of those respawns. There's the Galactic Legend to capitalize on Kendrick, who was so low. The great poke from Rad. How do you stop Chime? And there's been the Invisible Woman barrier to try and block the damage, to try and support him, and Pizza Demon is constantly a victim. Phaser is still alive. There's still some healing left, but not when Manually is on the job. All the strategists are in trouble, and now gone completely. No healing left unless Pizza Demon has been ordered hot and ready, and I don't think he is. Rad have bought themselves another life in the series.
For this high ground push, as they're going to be meeting at the top, and we have Lean once again on the thing. We'll see if we get the same result.
And because of this position advantage from NTMR, they can set up their squids and have the slows, of course, when you have the Luna involved. So Rad will have to bully their way through, but NTMR know that the point's about to unlock, so they're going to focus on stabilizing, setting up there. Rad are coming down the stairs. You have to worry about any off angling that any of these duelists can do, including the Namor.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice little poke damage happening. Both teams just honestly getting charging up. Millennia able to get those squids out and charge up early. Both the tanks are going to go on them. Nope. The bubble is up. There goes the cooldown. That's an important one to track as the Invisible Woman keeping them shielded up. They're just trying to get this Millennia pick at the moment.
Millennia has to stay safe and beautifully played around the pillar, but this map, this round can change a lot. It's very dynamic in the bubble for Len to support him. The haymakers, Rad are playing so aggressive off of thing. The double shot from Manually takes care of Millennia, and NTMR would have to turn around a 4 versus 6, which is just not going to happen.
Yeah, we've seen Lynn play the thing, but the thing about domination, the thing is, I mean, that's going to be the joke always, right? But the thing about domination is, the thing is able to get so much more value on the double shield comp because you are in their face all of the time, constantly getting, honestly, pressure and ultimate charge up. even with Luna ults, the thing can charge up the ultimate and get so much use out of that big AoE hit. And then when you're one-on-one, you go with the single punches. But the thing is a huge pick here against them.
Oh my god, just choke stuffing already from Rad. Keep an eye on this Meteor M. They are so confident. Connie says, let's go, boys. We're rolling in. And it's the copied, spinny ultimate of the Luna. They still have abs in their back pocket, comboed with the whale. That was deadly.
Yeah, I mean, they said Chili Christmas for the turrets. No, it is for the damage boost into the Moby Dick. I mean, that was a beautiful use of just a couple of ultimates, and now we see there's still plenty to be had within it. The sprays are coming out. They're feeling confident. Lemon, love this. They want to make it 2-2 here, and they've got plenty to do so.
Good scouting too on the right side. Chime finding out where they're rotating from, and there needs to be some backup. Good Magneto bubble just to ensure Chime's life. Now playing through the choke, there's gonna be some trouble. The Luna ult from Baser helps force Nightmare through the choke, and it's so difficult. You got the impact, you got the whale, you got a double kill from Malenia. Oh, that is terrible. And Rad will not be able to keep this point any longer, but getting up to 80% is a huge start.
Yeah, perfect timing from Baser there on the damage switch. I mean, that was absolute cinema, as one would say. Great job there, just getting the double piece and able to have that thing roll out. Clobber in time was setting up something big there, but Luna, or the Baser, obviously getting the Luna ultimate. Now we go in, we have an Eye of Agamotto. Not a lot to follow it, but Rad having Crack and Impact and Meteor M should definitely spell a chaotic battle here in a moment.
Shields up from Connie. Moving forward, Kraken Impact is off the rip, mostly blocked in manually, drops to the low ground. He's well supported, but this did not put much of a dent into the armor of Nightmare. Is ready to retaliate, playing behind cover. Luca looks for an Eye of Agamotto. He is going to step forward, and the shield that has to block it is Connie, and it's a double hit manually, and Connie, Eye of Agamotto, if that's even a verb, but either way, only one is dropped from Rad, as Benny copies the Luna ultimate. The whale, the combo, blocked off by Luca. Not too much affected. Nightmare, stabilizer on the invisible boundary. You got the second Luna ultimate coming out. Abs and Baser making this a dance floor, but Luca is a critical Vanguard to miss at this point. The Kraken Impact as Kendrick looks for the trades, and Rad back away behind the healing of Abs that was still sustaining them through the Kraken Impact. And at an angle, Malenia, you cannot forget what he can do. The Tridents have to deal with all the Loki clones, but that's his little mini game to play, and it's still Rad with the point capture and seconds away from winning round one.
Yeah, wow, that is, I mean, you get an ultimate and you get an ultimate. Tons of things happening, I mean, from that Kraken Impact not getting its damage, but there is Spinny getting a huge kill on Kendrick there as they're having to come to the point immediately. 99%, 99. We've got our overtime, and right now, Zor, can he get the pick with the Meteor M? And he goes for the ditch. Oh my, but down, get Spinny.
What a risk to go for the Loki, who could quickly teleport away. But a critical strategist removed. Is all up to Abs, so close to the fate of both worlds, and it's fate in Abs' hands to save this round number one, to set up Rad for a possible reverse sweep, but not if Nightmare has something to say about it. Not when Pizza Demon is ordered on the menu with a beautiful invisible boundary to get real estate back in Nightmare's favor. It's an overtime that never ends. A Loki copy with another Luna ultimate. An Eye of Agamotto from Luca that blocks a response from Manually that also gets nothing. The ultimates, the slam down from Malenia drowns out some of these strategists, and now Malenia locks in.
I mean, 48 seconds of Luna ult they have to deal with there, and huge use of the whale collapsing that. I mean, we've been saying the Michael Bay special. At this point, it's a Rad and Nightmare special, with them going in overtime over and over, but Nightmare able to take the win there.
How difficult that is with the slows produced, but it's already a clobbering time saved up, especially for Nightmare, but somehow this tosses up Nightmare, and they sustain. Kendrick goes for the Wolverine ult, but gets frozen by Abs. This only buys them time until Len gets back in the picture to deal with that frozen Wolverine. And now these Vanguards are in trouble as the invisible boundary from Pizza tries to salvage what's left of this fight from Nightmare.
Okay, Lin, I see you. Nothing to follow up on that clobber in time, and they got the pick on the Winter Soldier, but Lin taking the battle into their own hands, getting rid of the Wolverine now, and Azor, though, trading with the spinning. We've seen it before. We've seen it again. Down goes both strategists by Azor. A huge summon today for Mace, playing out of his mind on this last point. Tremendous use of the Meteor Imp.
Yeah, for Azor to step up as that substitute to fragging out of his mind for Nightmare to start with that first cap. But look how extended Luca is playing. The Eye of Agamotto is going to be everything. And you don't have an easy counter. Like I said, that Magneto shield not as flexible, but it's all up to Connie.
Absolutely, here as we have now Chime coming in with the whale. We do have the abs in Chime special, the Namor whale boosted up, but we have it on the same side for Nightmare. So it could be who lands the whale first. And this is going to get crazy as Luca is getting a lot of poke in and distraction, slowing things down. 31% now for Nightmare. And we're about to see a lot of Luna and 2 whales. Who's going to land it?
Oh, he's trying to float above and levitate to get the timing of the Eye of Agamotto and gets close to the strategist. The shield has been brought out from Connie. That's on cooldown. And you got the combo from the Luna plus the whale ults. And Chime has something to say. But the response, Melania hangs up the phone. We have equal numbers, but no strategist left from the side of Rad. And with Baser still kicking, there's still a chance for Nightmare to punch back.
Now, Luca unable. Wow, Baser. Luca unable to use that Eye of Agamotto because they did get pushed by the buck. It didn't matter. The whale usage was about the same here. Now, Rad just trying to fight up for the life. No health left. Trying to get this elimination, but he's staying alive. It is so hard to take down Magneto here as now Nightmare is able to tick up this point, though, over and over. So they're in the win here, even with the great trades. Azor going for the double strategist elimination yet again. Lemon, this man is unstoppable.
These staggers are killing Rad if they don't get their things together. And I mean literally, they are going to lose and get out of this bracket. 8% left. Oh, the spaghetti's on the floor. Rad tried to push solo, but here is the teleport in from Len. The one last chance. The Meteor M connects onto a strategist. It's traded onto Spenny. The Kraken impact from Kendrick as he puts up another mixtape. And Rad scatter. And they can't live much longer. Nightmare, they unite one final time to stop the comeback from Rad. And that was anything but Rad. Nightmare will move on.
Kendra got the pixel of the shoulder of the potential, but Nightmare closes it in, and